They say fear is the only enemy. And if that's true, then society is losing the war badly. And oh boy, does society love fear, because fear is everywhere. Fear of the unknown. Fear that someone might look at you funny at the checkout line. But absolutely nothing terrifies people more than someone who doesn't follow the social script. And when it comes to autism, that fear mutates into a full-blown, pants-wetting panic. Fear of difference. Fear of someone not making eye contact. Fear of someone flapping their hands in public. People act like autism is the monster hiding under the bed, but spoiler alert, we're already in the room, and we're just trying to exist without being treated like a jump scare. And that's why I'm doing this episode on this topic. A couple of days ago, I posted a long, very characteristically autistic written rant about the recent Tylenol causes autism scare. Some folks agreed, some folks didn't, which is fine. But it told me that I need to put this on video and be crystal clear about where I stand. So let's get one thing straight right up front. Autism is not a disease. It's not the sniffles, it's not leprosy, and it's not something you're going to catch standing next to me in Target. It's a neurological variant, a different wiring diagram, a different operating system, if you will, not a corrupted file. The DSM calls it autism spectrum disorder, but the disorder part is mostly society's opinion that anything different is broken. And yes, it's a spectrum, which means that we're not all Rain Man, and we're not all mute, and we're not all genius hackers. Some of us are chatty engineers. Some are quiet artists. Some just want to stim in peace without you clutching your pearls. We're just people. Some of us are great at pattern recognition. Some of us stim in public. Some of us hate small talk, and shockingly, some of us make YouTube videos yelling about Texas politics and the Constitution. But fear sells. Fear pays the bills for clickbait, politicians, and grifters. And instead of understanding, we get fear-mongering garbage like Tylenol causes autism. Really? Autism was described in the 1940s. Tylenol hit the shelves in 1955. But sure, let's ignore the history, toss nuance into the trash can, and blame the painkiller because scaring people out of treating fevers is so much more lucrative. Here's the nuance that nobody bothers to mention. The timing of acetaminophen use during pregnancy might just overlap with key windows of fetal brain development. That overlap doesn't prove that Tylenol causes autism. It just means that researchers are looking at a time when a lot of neurodevelopmental traits start to emerge. That's not the same thing as cause and effect. And despite the scary headlines, both the FDA and CDC still recommend acetaminophen as the safest over-the-counter pain reliever for pregnant women, precisely because the evidence for harm remains so inconclusive. Here's the honest part that most pundits skip. Valid or not, the Tylenol causes autism scare isn't about Tylenol. It's about fear of autism itself, especially in its most limiting forms. Parents panic at the thought that their kid might never speak or live independently. That fear is real. That is something I can accept. It doesn't excuse the bad science or the panic, but it explains the desperation behind the clickbait. The problem is how that fear gets weaponized. Instead of helping families, grifters hijack that fear, turn it into bad science, and sell it back as a horror story. Instead of careful study and conversation with doctors, it becomes a viral scare campaign that makes people avoid needed care. Observational studies, you say. The science says maybe there's an association, but not proof. Confounding issues like fever, infection, inflammation, totally a thing. You know what else is an association with? Being alive. And every major health agency says, cool your jets. We don't have proof. But social media would rather terrify pregnant people than tell them to talk to their doctor. Because fear clicks better than nuance. It's lazy, it's bad science, and it does real harm because people stop listening to actual doctors. Here's the part that really fries my circuits. People acting like autism is some kind of biological catastrophe. Autism is not a biological mistake. It's a natural part of human diversity. Studies on twins and families show that it's mostly genetic, meaning that it's been with us for as long as humans have been human. And a lot of the traits that come with autism, hyperfocus, analytical thinking, creativity, literally built our modern world. You like math, science, tech? Thank autistic minds for that. The so-called autism epidemic, mostly just better diagnosis, broader criteria, and more kids getting help than instead of being ignored. The problem isn't autism, it's how society reacts to it. Bullying, lack of accommodations, bad schools, Clueless workplaces, media stereotypes, systems built for conformity, not for humans who think differently, and a fear-driven culture that would rather pathologize us than accommodate us. And let's be clear about the cure for autism crowd. If you're talking about eliminating autism, you're not talking about medicine. You're talking about eugenics with better branding. History already shows what that road leads. And spoiler alert, it doesn't end with everyone feeling warm and fuzzy. It's ugly and it's cruel. Forced sterilization, institutionalization, and physical abuse. The goal should be support, not erasure. So let me say this plainly. Autism does not ruin lives. Society does. And when you call my existence a mistake, what you're really saying is that you can't handle the difference. That's on you, not me. My existence, while grotesque and reprehensible to you, is not a bug in humanity's code that needs to be patched out. Yes, some of us need help. Some of us need resources. But we do not need to be fixed just to make you feel comfortable. Autism isn't a plague. It's not a tragedy, and it's not the apocalypse. It's just another way of being human. It's me and people like me, and we're not going anywhere. You want to wipe us out? You think autism ruins lives? If so, maybe the problem isn't autism. Maybe it's you and how you define human worth. If you think wiping us out would be an objective win for the species, then maybe the species could stand to lose a few people who think like you.